Choosing luxury while living with less might sound like a contradiction, but for me, they've become the same path, a curated lifestyle, authentically mine. It didn't happen overnight. It started with quiet questions. What makes my life feel luxurious? What am I done spending my money on? And what are my affordable little indulgences? Because luxury isn't always about money or extravagance. Sometimes it's really a good bed or supporting a local business, exploring new places near or far. And less isn't always about owning less. It's about choosing what matters. Maybe it's trading perfumes for essential oils or letting go of hair dye. So today's question isn't my usual rules or steps. It's about luxury and less, what it looks like in real life for me. And just for a change, I've added comments from friends from all over the world. I'm the Forest Fairy. Welcome to my corner of the woods where I'm rebuilding, revamping, redesigning a magical life and hopefully inspire you to gather your own fairy dust. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fabulous week. So my recent 7-hour drive cross-country navigating some really bad sections of road in my very comfortable and reliable Subaru SV got me thinking how my life is all about luxury and less. But let me clarify this little mantra of mine straight away. My concept of luxury and less is all about the context and the perception, because what may be for luxury for me may be standard for you, and what feels like less for me may be plenty for someone else. So it's a very personal philosophy, and it originates from a variety of places such as our values, beliefs, culture, upbringing, and ethnic grouping. Then, ultimately, it manifests in our current choices and the details of our everyday lives. But luxury and less is not only about spending or not spending or belongings, but many other facets of my life which we'll delve into in later conversations. Keep a lookout for them. And just as a side note, our values are an interesting one as we tend to think of them in terms of character traits such as honesty, integrity, and hard working. But Dr. John DeMartini says it could be things that we keep close, use all the time, think about a lot, do a lot. I'll link the DeMartini value determination process in the description below. I went through it a few years ago and it really got me thinking about what I value. My diary/journal came up high. So as you see, there's quite a bit of depth to this mantra, and it'll be worth your while to delve into your sources from which you draw, especially if you're finding, for example, that you sabotage yourself around luxury, or that you equate less with scarcity and therefore cling to everything. I think that calls for another deeper conversation, but today we'll not for once be doing 5 steps or 3 rules, and today is more a pondering on what luxury and what less might mean to you and I in terms of what we spend or don't spend our money on. And it's definitely about enjoying our own uniqueness and appreciating the diversity of thoughts and stories shared both in this conversation and in the comments below without judgment. So despite how individual this philosophy is, I've noticed something interesting. Many of us are moving, consciously or unconsciously, towards less in terms of spending, having, and doing. It could be a deliberate decluttering, downsizing, or curating of physical things, or a move towards minimalism and conscious consumption. Or it could be driven by financial priorities, or simply just a matter of tidying up our spaces. Whatever the driving force, the shift seems to be happening. And luxury, well, I found that one to be a loaded word. According to traditional dictionaries, luxury is something desirable or costly, or a state of great comfort, elegance, especially when involving great expense. But Google's AI dictionary offers this. Luxury refers to something desirable but not essential, providing comfort, pleasure, and enjoyment beyond what is necessary. Now that sits better with me. It's a more modern, more relevant, because what gives me comfort, pleasure, and joy, especially when it's not essential, is completely personal and not always driven by expense. In my own life, though, moving, downsizing, decluttering, packing, unpacking, and even losing things in the flood, I'm learning to embrace my mantra. luxury and less according to me. But I constantly remind myself that this, like most things in my life, is constantly evolving and a work in progress. Never perfect, never finished. And so it should evolve. You may have the absolute luxuries or lesses that will ride or die with you, but there will be some that will change as you change, as your finances change, as your life changes. I'm constantly curating my space, my belongings, my time, my energy, my experiences, and I find joy and calm in doing that. You, on the other hand, might be the opposite. Perhaps you prefer to make decisions once, set your world up and not revisit it too often. Perfectly valid. For one person, luxury or less might mean minimalistic sophistication, fewer objects, but each chosen with care and for quality. For another, less may not be about owning fewer things overall, but owning less of a certain lot so that they can have more of something else. For some, self-care is a non-negotiable luxury, while another believes in upcycling as their luxury. And yes, our financial situations also shape our decisions, and this philosophy may overlap with smart spending or frugality. There's no one way to do this. It's luxury, it's less, and it's yours to define and live. So I asked a few friends from around the world what luxury and less looked like in their lives. And here are just some of the things they shared, as varied and contrasting as their personalities, budgets, and lifestyles. A friend living in Amish country, Pennsylvania, recently ordered a beautiful dining room table from one of the many woodworking businesses known for handmade furniture. She says it wasn't cheap, but it's stunning, and I love supporting small local businesses. Then she paused and asked, "Is this luxury?" Another friend swears by good linen, fitted sheets that actually fit, and an alpaca duvet. Getting a good night's rest has become more and more of a challenge, she says, although I do also know she invested in a very good bed, which no doubt also helps. In the kitchen, nearly everyone I polled was passionate about quality produce, good, real, healthy, even organic fruit and vegetables, locally grown and sans packaging. That's often easier in small towns and villages, I think, although many cities are now boasting community gardens and local farmers markets too. Yes, sometimes it can cost more, but again, it's about paying for quality and supporting local. As we say in South Africa, local is lekker. Lekker, by the way, means great. Some went even more specific. One friend splurges on high-quality olive and avo oils. Another is loyal to coffee beans and opts for Twinings Earl Grey as his nightly wind down. And of course, skincare featured strongly. Some friends prioritize professional treatments like microneedling and IPL as their non-negotiables to help counter years of soaking up this African sun, and not a drop of regret, as they say. In the same vein, others consider yoga classes or therapies like acupuncture, body stress release, and Reiki to be their essential luxuries. My sister, her luxury is doTERRA essential oils, from which she mixes her own blends for face and body care and the occasional medicinal remedy. Another's must-have includes a natural hand wash from Neil's Yard, a pair of Morels for her long walks, and good quality socks, especially when they're on sale. And then out to the garage, as vehicles came up too. A few friends, myself included, admitted that their cars are a luxury they won't compromise on. I probably could have gone for a smaller model, but as a single woman, I wanted something solid and reliable. My Subaru XV took me all the way to Namibia on interesting roads, comfortably. And yes, international travel made the list too. The same coffee bean friend? Travel is his non-negotiable luxury. While the family member in Scotland indulges in a wine subscription, estate wines from around the world, and hopefully a lot from South Africa, we really do have some incredible wine labels. Interestingly, no one rushed to answer the question about what they'd let go directly. Only a few declarations of "I've given up this or that." But let's be honest, there are probably many things we've all quietly stopped paying for. Some of us, myself included, have let go of the top-end skincare brands. You know, the imported ranges with the silky packaging and the even silkier price tags. We've traded them in for simpler, often local products, and in many cases, basic blends of essential oils. Another much younger friend made a different decision. She stopped coloring her hair altogether. She told me, I always thought going grey meant you had to cover it up. That was the message from society. But now she sees grey hair as beautiful, a badge of honor. And then there's perfume. For years, my little indulgent, and it seems a few of my friends as well. But these days, not so much. And I've moved over to essential oils for everyday wear. As one friend put it, perfumes become too expensive unless you're traveling and buying it duty-free. And finally, cars made it to this list as well. The perfume friend made the conscious shift from luxury to practical, and now she drives an entry-level, reliable runaround. Her reason? Flashy cars come with flashy problems. Fair point. So now let's talk about those high-value basics, the budget gems that quietly earn their keep. The same friend who ordered the bespoke dining room table told me that IKEA products are her go-to for practicality. Her words, the designs are excellent and they're insanely practical. Another swears by apple cider vinegar and cinnamon for insulin regulation, and one has replaced fabric softener with good old white vinegar, especially helpful for keeping clothes going moldy in our climate. I'm also a fan of white vinegar and use it for many things, getting cloudy glasses sparkling again, washing fruit and vegetables, and much more. And coconut oil? Another household staple for me, as it's a multitasker. Cooking, makeup remover, body cream, and my go-to for oil pulling in the mornings. The family member in Scotland raves about boot sales and charity shops, and her most recent treasures are a sturdy water bottle and a brand new asparagus steamer. We had a good laugh about this one. This, of course, is just one corner of the room, so to speak. And there are many, many areas where we can upgrade, downgrade, or replace. And then there are the budget gems that aren't things at all. A few friends mentioned having people over for dinner rather than eating out. Long walks, catching a local show but skipping the dinner package. And so there you have it. This is, of course, just a glimpse, as there are so many other facets of our lives we haven't even touched yet. There's just so much we could explore around the concept of luxury and less. And so in our next conversation, I'll chat about some of the more different aspects of luxury and less. The less visible but equally powerful, such as digital minimalism, silence as a luxury, boundaries and time, perhaps the ultimate luxury of all. Whether your luxuries are tangible or more intangible, I hope this conversation has sparked your own quiet reflection. And as always, I'd love to hear what resonates with you. What's your definition of luxury, and what have you let go of? And what's earned a permanent place in your world? Wishing you a week filled with joyful luxury and peaceful less. And of course, sprinklings of fairy dust. Until next time, goodbye.